All right, 2022 is in the can. This is Industrial Talk, year in review of all of the conversations I've had, which thousands, about what are the challenges, what are the opportunities, and we're just sort of going to lay it out, nothing fancy. And again, I am going to be that industrial cheerleaders because you and others are the heroes in this story. Let's get going. All right, let's get cracking on the year in review, Industrial Talk year in review. This is going to be just sort of wrapped around 2022. Been very fortunate to be able to, do hundreds and hundreds of conversations with industry professionals around the world. And it has been just an absolute honor to be able to do that, honor to have these conversations. Honored to be able to hear the solutions that are being presented, being delivered by many in industry. That I can just rest assured that the future is in good hands. And 2022 was just an absolute wonderful opportunity to attend conferences, which you need to do. You need to attend some conferences because people are wanting to connect, and it was just great to connect. It started. When did it start? For me, it was IoT Solutions World Congress. I think the first one. And that was in Barcelona. We buzzed on over there, met with some great people, and it was the first time that after during the pandemic, whatever, we made friends over digitally over the internet. And this was the first time to be able to really see individuals that I only knew virtually in person. And it was a lot of fun. And I'll remember that most definitely. We're going to be doing, I'm using a product called StreamYard. And I'm sure some of you guys have. This is a product that, one, you can record locally. Two, you can do lives. And I think they're coming out with also a webinar solution as well. So it's pretty versatile, and better yet, it's easy for me to use. So it's pretty cool. So there's a lot of great value and benefits there. So the year in review is just something that I came up with, and like everybody else, I just decided that after the hundreds of conversations and working with a number of companies, that there were consistent themes that were taking place that I think that I share with you. It comes from the perspective of talking to a lot of people at a lot of conferences, and 23 is going to be a wonderful time too for conferences. So we have a presentation. If you have a video or you're out there on video, you can see this presentation, and I gotta tell you, it's nothing fancy. Let's put it that way. I try to make it fancy, but then I don't like it fancy. So it's pretty just straightforward, high level, and one that I think just captures the points that there's a lot more. Don't get me wrong, but these are the points that stand out to me. So let's just get cracking. And like I said, if you're out on the video, I think I'll have this. If you want to download it, yeah, you can go right ahead. It's all good and downloadable. But the reality is that you can have it, but it's something to sort of keep my thoughts and minds moving forward. In general, high level themes that were communicated month in, month out, professionals, companies, you name it. It was, and at the very top of all the conversation, it's a people equation, no doubt about it. It's a people equation. Technology is the technology. It's a people equation, and all of the challenges and all of the and opportunities that exist out there, but it is a people equation. The other area is like, hey, all of this stuff is great. All of this information that that we were able to gain from. Like we went to IMTS, which is a great conference. FabTech is a great conference. The one that is just one of the best is IoT Solutions. All of them, great opportunity. Anyway, where do I start? I mean, you walk around these events, you walk around these venues, and you just see solutions and opportunities, and just it just goes on and on and on. And if I put my business cap on, I wouldn't even know where to start. The other item that sort of falls in line is, who do I trust? You go out to the internet, the World Wide Web, and you just look at everybody hanging their shingles. I don't know. This journey, this technology, this innovative journey, this where we're at today, does require trusted Sherpas to help you on that journey. And anyway, we'll talk a little bit more about that. There's a velocity, there's speed that it's exciting for me because I tend to be very ADD-ish, because I'm like, oh, that's cool too, that's shiny, that's neat. And then the other item is sort of that field of dreams. There's a lot of people saying, hey, I've got this great idea. This idea is here. This is great. This is, and a lot of the times it's a field of dreams, but the reality is that it's noisy out there. So that's the, and then we just wrap it up, and I just give my 2 cents and merrily go about your business and changing the world. So let's get cracking. All right, people equations. These are some of the salient points that that have happened as a result of my conversation. It's always a people problem. Every time I ask a question like, hey, what are the roadblocks? And it's never technology. It's never saying, well, we didn't get the code right. And no, it eventually you will. It's always people. It's people identifying the challenges. It's people collaborating. It's people solving challenges through innovative solutions. And how do I attract? That's it. It's just, how do I attract people? How do I bring in new talent? How do I reskill? These are all very important conversations that are taking place. And it's always, and it will be that in 2023, that it will be a people conversation. How do I attract? How do I retain? How do I upskill to keep up with the challenges happening in industry? So it's always a people equation. Got it? Write that down. Take it to the bank. Whatever. You can, that. The other thing is, where do I start? This is one of the areas that I've heard countless times. And it is, Scott, I've gone out to the internet and I'm looking up Industry 4.0. This is just there's a gazillion hits. I'll type in IoT, another gazillion hits. Somebody out there, and maybe I heard it on your podcast, but saying, hey, I need to be in this digital transformation journey. The reality is, a confused mind does not make a decision. It just doesn't. I don't. If I'm confused, I will stand there like a sundial, and I will just sit there. Oh, no, I can't make a decision. And rightly so. You shouldn't. You got to figure that out. So where do I start? And that means that takes you into, the it's like, okay, where do I start? It's the, who do I trust? It's like, this is great. It's all good. Like I said, the World Wide Web is saying that I need to be on this digital transformation juggernaut, and I don't know who to trust. And that just comes through, engagement, collaboration. And I think that being an industry leader, one of the areas that has to be a part of your discussion is to be participating in associations, participating in conferences, industry-specific conferences. This is sort of where, people who are having problems come and search for people who have the solutions. But you have to do it, and you have to, this is just me, because I don't know who to trust. I don't even know where to start. You have to help people, but they know in my conversation, this is all about conversations. This is not, it's not me just pulling it out of my ear. This is what I've heard and what I heard in 2022 and also 2021 and so on and so forth. These are the things that I hear, and people are struggling. And so you have to approach them in a way that, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, you need to get going. You can trust me, that type of thing. You got to develop that. That's without a doubt. The other thing that happens as a result of all of this conversation is, one, it is fast. It is changing. It is just because the technology over here, I don't know what it is. They just sit around, they talk about new use cases, and they start developing new solutions associated with those use cases, and then they just keep on going. Me, Scott McKenzie, business owner, it's hard for me to keep up with those the changes. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying, it's difficult to keep up. And the use cases never stop. And what happens out there, and in all the conversations I've had, is the fact that, hey, I just spoke to Joe Blow. And Joe Blow and Susie Q got together and they created a new use case. And all we had to do is just plug this one in, do this, and do this. And all of a sudden, there it is. And again, the speed, the velocity, the ability for people to consume, to digest it, to see the value, because once again, where do I start? Who do I trust? And this is fast, and it's all people related. It's all people related, right? The technology is the technology. It will do what it does. And if there's a problem with the technology, if you're not designing it right, whatever it might be, you'll correct that. It's just always sort of that people side. And again, velocity, absolutely blistering. And so there's a lot of confusion there. There's a lot of concern. The other thing is a field of dreams. It's like, okay, good. All right. So I got this great technology. It's great. It does this. It does whatever it does. And it solves this problem, not knowing if there was a problem that be solved or not, but it solves this problem. And so we're going to build it. We're going to build it. And they will come. That type of mindset. That might be the case. But I'm here to tell you one of the challenges, and this is, again, with all the conversations I've had, hundreds, I've done over 5,000 of these things, right? So the reality is that, here it is. It's noisy out there. It just is. So if you think your digital transformation solution, you think your supply chain solution, do you think your monitoring device solution is getting the attention you need? It's not, because it's noisy. Because I'm going back to who I am. I'm a company. I'm a business. I don't know where to start. I don't know who to trust. The speed at which is just happening is absolutely blistering. And so those are the things that have been absolutely a part of every conversation. It's from the service provider's point of view, as well as the customer, the user of the service. And those are the real salient points. That's it. And going to all of the conferences, having all the virtual webinars and facilitating those, and listening to all the questions that come out. Sure, there are questions that are being delivered by real, knowledgeable, steeped in knowledge individuals that get it, right? But the majority of us, me included, I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand the problem. That here's my problem. Does that problem get solved by whatever the solution? My engagement, my collaboration with you, right? So the reality is that those are the drivers each and every time. The technology is off the hook, and I was just recently at an OMG event in Austin, talking to a group of standards people, talking about cybersecurity, talking about digital twin, talking about virtual twin, right? All cool stuff. But again, it's people. It's noisy. So what do we do? And the only thing that I can definitely, because I enjoy doing this, is the reality is that Industrial Talk was built off of the premise of educating, because you got to do that. You got to constantly educate. You got to constantly put forth that effort to understand as much as you possibly can. It's out there. It's just out there. There's no excuse to go out and educate. And so Industrial Talk is going to talk to the leaders, right? And I'm always learning. Trust me, I don't know much about virtual twin, but when I did hear about it, it's pretty doggone cool, right? Or digital twin and all of the stuff that's taking place. Supply chain's a big pain point for everybody. It is. So you just have to truly continue to educate. And then you have to collaborate. And that's another pillar that we found very important for Industrial Talk. And the reason you collaborate is because, especially in a hyper speed industrial market, you don't have all the answers. You might think you do, but I guarantee you're going to have some gaps. And if you're like me, you have a sliver of the answers, and you're looking for answers from other people, other professionals who have the street cred to say, yeah, no, this is it. This is what we did. We made this problem, and here you go, that type of thing. So it's always going to be, once again, that human equation. So educate, collaborate. And the last pillar that we find ourselves really building off of, because it just is, it's in your grill each and every day, is that innovation. It's not just innovation when it comes to just technology. It's innovation of how you manage your organization. How do you deal with the people side of that? Because you need people. You just do. And so those are the three pillars. And I challenge everybody for 2023 to really dig deep into the education. Go to the conferences. Well, we're going to be at a lot of conferences. Like last year, we were at IoT Solutions World Congress, Barcelona, Distribute Tech, IMTS, FabTech, OMG, SMRP. There are other couples in there. However, they're all there, and everybody is having the same desire to want to educate, consume as much as I can, collaborate, find the people, because I need to start somewhere. I don't know where to start, but I'm going to find somebody to help me with that journey. And then find the innovation that is scalable and creates a business that is resilient, because that's what you want, right? You want that resilient business to be able to sort of weather the storm, which, some people look at coming up in 23, 24, whatever, that there's a storm of brewing. We want you to succeed. Industrial Talk, me, want you to succeed. And therefore, I think it's vitally important to do that. And I think that the reality is that I think the community, you guys are all heroes. Everybody's heroes in an industry. I really believe that it'd be cool to have trading cards of individuals that represent industry in a specific way, right? Hi, I'm a supply chain hero. And hi, I'm a utility hero, which is a big conversation too. And so we need you to succeed. We need for you to be resilient. And those are the points that the one of the biggest points that outside of all those other things that me personally, I'm a sales and marketing nut. I consume books. This is where I failed. I consume the books, and then I go on to the next one, and then I go on to the next one. My commitment to you is that I'm doing book reports. I'm doing sales and marketing book reports because that's what I gravitate towards. So I'm going to be doing this because there's a lot of wisdom out there, and I'm not going to fail you. That I'm not consuming the information that is needed to be better, and to do that with a sense of professionalism, because I want to share that with you. I want to help you succeed. And I think companies need to be media companies. You just do. And you need to put yourself out there that makes you feel a little uncomfortable. You just do. Because if you sound like everybody else, nobody's watching. If you have the cure for cancer and nobody's listening, people are dying of cancer, just FYI, because they're not listening. And we here at Industrial Talk want people to listen. And they need to listen to you because you're cool. Industry's cool. You guys are the heroes. I am just an industrial cheerleader. And I'll do anything I can to help you. Now, with that said, here's the call to action. Call to action is go out to Industrial Talk, reach out to me. You want to be on the podcast? Ask me. Are you going to be at a conference? Ask me. If you want me to be at a conference, ask me. The reality is that right here, this media company allows you to open doors. It just does. Ask me, and I will do everything I can to help you. That's my call to action. And so I go to these conferences just with that in mind. We do technology sprints because that's cool tech. So I'll go to the conference, I'll go to the booth, I'll look at the technology, and we do stuff like, hey, check us. What's going on there, right? That's what we do. And that's what, just ask me. But that's all it's all. And we'll have fun. And trust me, this is how I interact anyway. But the reality is that you need to succeed. So let's figure out what, and grow and flourish and do whatever is necessary to meet your goals and serve your purpose each and every day. 2023, right there. All right. I don't have to wrap it up. This is it. Thank you. IndustrialTalk.com. Open book right here. Let's talk.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.